My name's Kayla. I started Retro Raccoon and I forage, find, and buy trash, console, toys, accessories, games, and attempt to fix them. This is a follow-up to the video we made yesterday. Yesterday, we went up to the Salvation Army of Tampa Bay to pick up quite a few auctions that we had won online on their eBay site. We are gathered here today to test all of those handhelds from the lot that I bought that was $390. This is a lot of 10 handheld consoles, and we're going to start from the least desirable to the most desirable. I've given all of these consoles an opportunity to charge overnight. We are also going to not only test them for its functionality, but we're going to see if there's any games, memory cards, and any other goodies of the sort in them. Let's do this. This is a knockoff Game Boy Color, often made in China, often bought on like Temu and sites like that. Preloaded, it says, with 400 games, but quantity most likely does not equal quality. It turns on. We can choose to play in either English or Chinese. You press start, and then you have a list. Mario, Mario Brothers. Let's try Mario. Interesting looking. Okay, well, this thing works. The next handheld console. This knockoff PSP. The thing is, this actually looks pretty decent. It's super lightweight. That's how you can tell how fake it is, and especially by the back. From first glance, that's actually pretty legit. See if it'll turn on. Okay. It's been charging, but it looks like it's asking for some power. Let's plug it in and see if it'll run while it's plugged in. It takes the same charging port as an original PSP. Okay, plug it in. And it's like defaulting to like a Street Fighter looking thing. Street Fight, Metal Slug, Tekken 3, Dino Strike. Let's try PS1 Tekken 3. This thing is goofy looking, guys. Real goofy looking. I don't know what in the homebrew this is, but my homebrew is definitely better than this. Oh, we got something. Looks like a really sus Tekken 3. Yeah, not cute. In the trash. In the trash. Let's get into some real consoles already. Pretty, pretty. Teal Game Boy Color. Pissed off that it's missing the back, but when do these ever come with the battery backplate? Never. If this works, it would be worth it to find one on eBay, a replacement one, and have this completed. Pop some batteries in, see if this works. Someone was awesome and didn't leave batteries in here for years. That destroys your electronics. Take your batteries out, your Christmas decorations, your Halloween decorations. Moment of truth. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well, it looks like it's going to be well worth trying to hunt down a backing for this. I would prefer an OEM original one, but if we have to find a 3D printed, we got to do what we got to do. Following that Game Boy Color is an original model Sony PSP. I loved this thing. This was the first thing that I had handheld that could access the internet, so MySpace on this was legit. I got this specifically, though, to be able to watch the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie. I love that you could play games on this. I love that you could watch movies. And what was really cool was you were able to connect this to your PS3. One thing I noticed here that I didn't notice yesterday is that there's a pretty significant crack here in this corner. That most likely will affect the screen. These outer shells are actually quite thin and quite fragile, although they don't feel like it. Another thing with these, if these have been sitting for any length of time, these batteries go bad so easily. They get super fat and puffy. So we're going to try and power it on with just the battery first. If that doesn't work, the true test will be trying to turn it on while it's connected to a power source. The one good thing about these is that if there isn't a battery or if the battery's bad, as long as you have the power source connected, if it's working, it will turn on. Nada. Let's plug this in and see if it turns on. It turns on, but look at that screen, just as I suspected from that upper corner. This isn't the worst thing in the world, guys. It turns on, okay? It has sound. As far as I can hear, the buttons work. It should be a simple screen replacement, and I believe you can get a replacement screen for about 25 to 35 bucks. This thing is in excellent condition. I always got to remember to check for games. I always forget to do that with these. Unfortunately, no game. This is totally worth investing a little bit of money for a new screen and trying to replace that, and that should fix all the problems, and then it'll be a perfect working condition original Sony PSP model 1001. Yay. To be honest, I think partially the reason why I took such a risk on this auction was because two of the handheld consoles included in this are ones that I've been searching for my personal collection. And this next one is one of those, and it's something that I've been super picky about finding, and to try and find what I want in a certain price range, I'm asking for the impossible. I think it is brand spanking new. This is actually, from it being packaged, the screen protector barely has a scratch. I had this sitting charging. If this turns on, this might be one of my life's greatest accomplishments. These things in okay condition sell for over $250. If this works, I feel like this would be worth close to $275 to $300. We have a memory card. It's an 8 GB Sony PS Vita OEM memory card. That's sick. Oh my God. Always trust your gut. Something spoke to me and said, put all the money you have into this, please. Do it. You won't regret it. I absolutely don't regret it. This is phenomenal. I have a PS Vita now, guys. I'm a cool kid and I have no idea how to use it, but booted right to the game. And I loved Uncharted. I started playing Uncharted on the PS3. Merry Christmas to me. Can it get better from here? If nothing else works, I don't really think I get at this point. I'm happy. This next one is one that I've been dying to have in my personal collection. It was my number one most favorite handheld console ever. I could have easily bought myself one, but it is just so much more fun to find things and get things this way. I had the red one of these as a kid. I actually had two, because the first one I slammed on my knee because Yoshi's Island was me off. This one has some aesthetic flaws, issues, but that's okay. It's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's on the inside. And this screen is real pretty. Will it work? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The battery life on these things were sick too for the time. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. And the last four are all Nintendo Switches. One is a coral pink Nintendo Switch Lite. And the other three are the original model Nintendo Switches console only. So no controllers, but the screen, and that's the whole console. So let's start with the light. Coral pink Nintendo Switch Lite. It is in awesome, awesome, awesome condition. Let's press the power button, see if we get anything. We're good. We're good. There's a ton of stuff on here. Holy smokes. It is going to hurt my heart to factory reset this, but I must. This looks like it's still connected to someone's stuff, so we're going to wipe it out, and this will be available for sale very, very soon. Hit me up if you're interested. 3 original model Nintendo Switch consoles. Very light few scratches on the screens. Besides that, they're really, really beautiful. Like this one looks practically brand new. This one has very light wear. And this one looks really great too. We'll test them one by one, starting with switch number 1. It works. It freaking works. Let's see if there's anything on it. And again, this thing is loaded. It is going to crush my soul to format this and factory reset it, but I don't want to have no one else in here. Switch number 2, working. Let's see if we're lucky and have a game in here. And if we're even luckier, there will also be a memory card. I love sourcing my micro SD cards from consoles. What do we have here? Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I never played this, but it looks like a lot of fun. Yay. And Switch games are like $50, $60, which is absolutely ridiculous, but yay for me. And this one does not have a memory card, but it works. Next Switch. Although this one is the nicest looking on the back, although it is in very good condition, it's probably the worst looking one in the front. There's just this little scuff patch right here. It's not something that's a make it or break it to me. If it works, this is still a Nintendo Switch, okay? Let's try to power it on. This is why we take risks in life, guys. Again, loaded as oh my god, so many games on this thing. That's actually crazy. Again, gonna absolutely crush my soul to format this, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Minecraft for the Switch. 2 games out of 2 Switches so far. And in total, we have 3 working Nintendo Switches, and we have 1 more left to go. I would say that we totally ate with this deal. This is our 4th and final Switch. Are we gonna have 4 working Switches in a row? That would be actually wild. Again, had these all charging overnight. Let's press the power button and see what we have. That's different. We have a big bright blue screen and it's not letting me do anything. I've seen a video on this before, and normally what this means is that there is some sort of disconnect between either the CPU or GPU, one of those chips, and the motherboard. And the reason why this happens is people often put their Switch in their pockets, their front pocket, their back pocket, they sit, and that repetitive slight bending of the Switch over time starts to disconnect the joints and connection of that chip and the motherboard. The way that we would test this is by taking the back off, we would actually manually press down onto that chip to apply pressure and make sure it's making contact with the motherboard. Try to turn it on, and this screen will work, and that will diagnose if that is the issue. If not, I have no idea. To summarize, we bought this whole lot for $390.55. And out of this entire lot of 10 consoles, only really considering 8 real consoles, let's count how many are in working condition. So off the bat, let's get these out of the way. Emulator fake consoles, but they do work, so we'll count them. 2 out of 10 consoles, working condition. PSP, although it turns on, this screen is not in a condition that is playable. As of now, I'm not going to consider this working, but it will be. We'll put this to the side, put a note on it, so we remember what we got to do when that screen comes in. And once this screen's replaced, we'll count this as a working console and adjust the number of working consoles that we have. The PS Vita worked. This was one of my most favorite items of this lot, especially since it works, especially since it's a personal item. This is awesome. This never happens. This is like a 1 in a million, and I'm very, very grateful for this. The other one that I was wicked stoked worked was the Game Boy Advance SP. Again, this was a personal item for my collection that I have been on the hunt for, and we have one, with a really beautiful screen and in perfect working condition. Can't forget about the Game Boy Color. This also worked. Absolutely crazy. These are getting harder to find and harder to find in working condition. We're going to find the replacement battery cover because I'm picky about that. This was another super exciting success from this lot. And then with the big dogs, the Switches, this pink, coral pink Nintendo Switch, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely perfect working condition. It's going to be hard not to keep this one, but I have the yellow one. So this one will be for sale very, very, very soon. Hit me up if you're interested. And out of these 3 Nintendo Switch consoles, we have 2 that are in perfect working condition and 1 with the blue screen, which is commonly known as a hardware issue. We're going to attempt to repair that, and we're most likely going to be able to repair that. Out of these, for now, we're going to count only 2 of them as in working sellable condition and 1 to be determined. And lastly, we can't forget about our little disk drive surprises. We have 3 games that were found in these consoles, starting off with Uncharted, the Golden Abyss for the PS Vita, and then for the Switch, we had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and we had Minecraft for the Switch, both classic games. I am beyond happy with this lot. I am so glad that I took that risk and did that. We're certainly going to profit some money from this. That's sure. I even did the calculations. Keep in mind, these numbers are on the very conservative, low end, worst case scenario. So it can only get better from this. With this entire lot, on the very, very lowest end, if we sold everything, we would be making about $1,335. We invested a total amount of $390.55. So that would leave us with a profit of $825.72. That would be my biggest profit yet. Wish me luck. I'm going to work on that Switch with the blue screen. Everything else, I'm going to just tidy up and make look pretty and make sure everything's charged with batteries, has all of its components to function properly, and we're going to have a bunch more consoles ready to rock and roll. So